Welcome. So, today, I think we're just going to get straight into it. To let you know, when we do start to move, we'll move from lying down. So, if you want to start lying down, you're very, very welcome to, as always, grab any props or bits you like to support you. If you want to take a moment to get those, we'll do a couple bits today that we'll use a block. So, if you have a block or a block substitute, would be fabulous. But yeah, just take your time to come and get settled, and we'll come into practice together. So take a little bit of time to decide what your beginning posture will be today, whether it's lying down, seated, supported by a wall, or using any lovely bits just to keep the body as comfortable as possible. If there are little movements that are going to be helpful as we start to settle in, allow the body to move as you ease into yourself. Movement is a really, really wonderful way to welcome ourselves towards stillness, towards stiller states of being. It's a lot of what we're doing in the yoga asana practice. So if the movement's helpful as we start to settle, you can move as much as you like for as long as you like. Then just to give us a little bit of release as we begin, we'll start with a couple sighs as usual. So your next inhale, we're going to fill the lungs. And then a big sigh out, letting it go. Two more like that, big breath in. Let it go. One more just like that, full breath in. Whole way to empty. Allowing yourself now just to begin to land in the space as you draw towards your practice. Floating your awareness to the flow of breath in and out the body. And just taking some time to gently collect your awareness, your care, your focus. And starting to knit it onto that breath. One of the reasons breath can be so helpful for practice is that it really invites us into feeling, into being present with what is in our body, with what is in our experience. I've mentioned this before, but it's endlessly handy that we really, really can't breathe in the past. So we can't get too stuck there with the breath. And we really, really can't breathe in the future. So each time we give ourselves this fullness of feeling within the breath, we're giving ourselves this fullness of presence. So if it's helpful today, you can keep the breath as it is, or you can start to deepen it just as you start to tune in. Just making a little bit of space just to simply listen and to simply feel into the body. Just to gently start to welcome yourself in. And then it's from this place of listening that we strive to enter the practice, to continue the practice. So today might be a day just to simply move, to simply breathe, to explore. Or it might be a day you want to bring in a mental practice, an intention of some form. Now I've pinched this from a dear friend of mine, but I think it's a really lovely one. So if you take a moment to just think about what your practice means for you, what making this space means, or what it is that might have brought you to your mat today. If this was time to make space, to feel, to be kind to yourself, nourish yourself, anything like that that might resonate or pop up today. What can be a really sweet practice is to then take whatever that might be and call it into being, so you offer it to yourself in an I am phrasing. So say if practice is a place that I come to connect with strength, then I could repeat to myself, I am strong. I know it's not everyone's thing, so don't worry if it's not yours. But if it feels helpful, it can be a really lovely mantra to offer to yourself and to return to. So if that's helpful today, I want to offer that out. You can take a few moments just to sit with that. And when you feel ready to ease into movement, maybe deepen the breath just a little. And then we're slowly going to draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. So just starting to find a little bit of body-to-body contact. Maybe there's little bits of sensation you can start to pay attention to, start to breathe with. The movement here can be subtle and small, or it can be a bit more exploratory. You can roll side to side, you can roll forwards and back. As always, there's really not a right or wrong way to start to move. There's not a right or wrong to movement. So you can just start to explore in a way that feels like it makes sense for you, or to start to welcome you into the body. Okay, from here today we're going to come towards a figure 4. So take the left sole of the foot down to the ground and the right ankle on top of the thigh. You can have the hands out wide, or you can plant them by the hips. We're going to inhale here. Then as you exhale, we're going to press down through the hands and the foot to work on gently peeling up the legs. Squeeze the glutes is a tricky one. And then bring it back down. From there, we're going to go straight into a little bit of release. So you're going to think of pressing the right knee away. It might stay there, or for you, there might be more sensation if you're lifting the legs a little closer to the body. Again, you can keep movement in the pose if that will be helpful. And maybe noticing if that breath can stay with you, a kind of anchor to feeling, that anchor to making space. Or maybe today an anchor to intention, an anchor to whatever that phrase may have been. We're just going to go for one more breath here. Okay, from there, take the left sole of the foot down to the ground, and we're going to reach the right hand onto the right leg. So it can come to the outside of the thigh, or if it's accessible for you, you can take the hand to the foot. I'm going to take some circles to kind of ease into the hip. So left hand can go to left hip. I'm going to circle, circle, circle around the right. One more breath there. And then I'm going to think about like you're trying to draw your knee down to the ground, and then see if you could kick the foot. Oh, there it is, into your hands. I feel sore today, so there might be more sound effects than normal. I'm going to take one more breath here. Okay. From there, we take an eagle bind. Right leg goes on top of the left. We're going to take just a little bit of core work. Think about pressing the lower spine down and take the hands to the thighs to work on flattening it there. Then from here, you're welcome to stay there. We can lift fingertips, head, or whole upper back. We're going to breathe for 3. If it's possible, see if you can steady the breath. For 2. And 1. Let the knees come over to the left as you release. Oh, and you can expand the arms out, maybe looking over to the right. Take a moment just to let the body unravel, let it soften. And then we'll go second side. So we unravel. We're going to start all of that again, beginning in the figure 4. So right sole of the foot to the ground this time, left ankle on top of the thigh. Press the left knee away and find somewhere for the hands to ground. They can be wide or they can be by your hips. One-legged bridge, inhale. Exhale, press through the hands and the feet to peel that up. Exhale, take it down. Now we're releasing a little more. You can stay there, pressing the left knee away. There might be some lovely sensation, or you can play with drawing the legs in a little closer towards the body. See if you can keep the jaw soft, allow the shoulders to soften. One more here. And then from there, we'll take the right sole of the foot down to the ground. Same, left hand can go by the left knee or it can go onto your left foot. And we take circles. So warming into that hip. They can be big circles, they can be little circles. See what feels good. You can go back the other way if you like. And then we create a little bit of resistance. So you're going to kick like the foot's trying to reach the ceiling, and then you're going to pull back with the hand. So we find that resistance. One more breath, hand on foot or hand by the knee. And let that release. Okay. And now from there, we're going to take eagle bind, left leg on top of the right. First, that bit of core work. So we lift the feet and we press the low spine down. It might be here. You can reach fingertips, lift the head, the shoulders, or the whole upper back. Breathing for 3. For 2. And for 1, let both knees go over to the right. You can expand the arms out nice and wide. Unravel into that twist. Okay. Now from there again, we will unravel back through center, and we're going to make our way to tabletop. You can rock and roll up and down, cross over the shins, or we can roll over to the side and start to make your way to hands and knees. So we'll have the hands about shoulder distance apart and knees around hips distance apart, and just begin with some organic movement here. So just moving in a way that makes sense for you, or kind of feels exploratory, for you as we start to get into the body. Maybe just starting to pay attention to different little pockets of sensation, of tightness, of space. Body's different every practice, every day, every moment. So we take this presence with the breath, this feeling with the breath to really welcome us into that paying attention. Okay, making your way back to a neutral spine if you're not there already. Gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna inhale the right leg back behind us. Then as you exhale, take the right knee to sort of the center of your tabletop. Then we're gonna inhale the left leg back. Then as you exhale, cross the left knee over the right, so we sort of twisted it over. Now, this is a bit of a tricky transition. The feet are gonna go out to the side. We're gonna roll back to take the hips to the ground. Maybe we've landed in shoelace. Gonna inhale, lift the chest. And then really gently just tip the heart forwards. Pause where there's some sensation. Might be a little bit, might be a lot further down. Just one more breath. And slowly start to come back up to upright. We're going to unravel. So this top leg, right leg's going to go back behind us. And then we're going to kind of walk our way back to the tabletop. There we are again. Take a bit of movement, ease it out. And then we're going to do that same thing on our second side. Inhale, left leg long. Give yourself permission to make noises. Exhale, take the knee towards the center of the mat. Same with the right leg. Inhale. This time right knee crosses behind, and then we start to sit the hips back low. So if that transition was a little sticky last time, blocks can be helpful if you take them by your hips, and then we've kind of got something a little more to press down into, whoosh, as we make our way back. Inhale lifts the chest. Exhale tips the heart forwards. Steadying back to breath. Deepening it again. Slowly start to come back up to upright. Again, we're going to unravel. So you can unravel that left leg back. And again, we're going to come back to our tabletop. So we're going to make our way towards a down dog this time. So you can keep the hands on the ground. Or if today's the day where you want a little more support for the wrists, I really like taking hands to blocks. It's always a nice one. You can tuck toes. Inhale. As you exhale, we press the ground away and we start to straighten the legs to lift the hips to come to our first down dog of the practice. Now, it's potentially also your first down dog of the day, so feel free to be very gentle with yourself. You can start to welcome in any movements that you normally like, bending both the knees or starting to bend one than the other. If you want to lift a leg, take a few sighs. Next, inhale, let's lift up the right leg together. Gonna take a bend in the knee and open up the hip, relax down the side of the neck. Now you're very, very welcome to stay here, enjoy the sensations. If you felt like playing with a bit of balance today, you can tent onto the right fingertips. Maybe you stay there, it can be nice to look to the ground. Or maybe see if you could just float off the right hand. If you wanted to keep it going, you can take right hand towards right foot. One more breath. And then we release. Feel free to ease that out back through down dog or through your tabletop. And then we'll go second side. So we meet back in down dog. Again, we're going to inhale that left leg up. Bend the knee and open up the hip. Now it might feel really lovely to stay here. Shift the weight towards your back heel. Or if you wanted to play with that balance, you can come onto the left fingertips, maybe hold there, look to the center of the mat. Or you can play with floating the hand. Any of the options are great. The wobbles are good. That's how we build our stabilizers. One more breath. And then take the hand and the foot back down to the ground. And this time we're going to work our way to the top of the mat. So you can get there from down dog or a tabletop. We start to step the feet towards the hands to come to our forward fold. We're going to inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale down. Chin to chest, think about looking to belly button. Just one more like that. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, folds. Take your hands or your blocks just a little further forwards. We're going to inhale the right leg up. And we're going to go straight to a half moon. So we're going to start to open up the hip and think about starting to peel up the right hand. Press down through that left foot. One more breath. Flex the back foot. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to place the right foot down halfway. And we come towards our triangle stance. Reverse triangle. Right hand goes to the leg. Left arm up to the ceiling. Inhale. Stay. Exhale. You can stay there or you can wrap the right hand around your back. One more breath. Then what we're going to do from here, take the arms to a T. Then we're going to turn this back foot out to the side, so right foot out to the side. I'm going to play with dropping the hips like a Skandasana variation. Come back through center, and then we're going to go to the other side, so you can widen your stance. Drop the hips down to the left, back to center. Then we're going to keep that going. So it might look a little something like what I'm doing now. For some of us, you might want to go a little lower. This is going to be sore for me today. Oh, there she goes. You can go the whole way down. We're going to go once more either side. To the right. Take your time with it. Breathe into it. Use the breath to keep you with the body. We're going to meet with both hands on the inside of this left foot. And then drop the right knee down. Lizard pose. Take some time to get settled. Left foot might want to go a little wider or a little further forwards. If movement's helpful in the pose, feel free to move. You might want to stay up on the hands or you can play with levels. Forearms to blocks or forearms to the ground. Let's go for 2 more breaths here. Okay, we'll come back to the hands if you left them. We're going to go twisted lizard now. So what can be helpful, this isn't always accessible to everyone, but it's having some padding for the knee. So you can always roll over your mat. I'm actually on quite a cushioned floor, so I'm all right. Or for some of us, when you've got the space in the hips, you can start to kind of roll so you're actually on the sort of like top of your thigh instead of the knee. It can be a nice one to play with. We're going to inhale the left arm up. And then as you exhale, we start to take the hand back, open up the chest. Oh, you can hold, or you can peel up that back foot towards a bind. 3 breaths. You can stay where you are. If there's lots of space for you, you can take the right forearm down to the ground. Last one there. And then we unravel. Hands come back to the ground, and they can come back to your blocks. We're going to make our way to take the weight back into this left foot at the top of the mat. So if you take your blocks or your hands forwards, inhale the right leg lifts. We're going to go for a twisted fold. Step the right foot to the outside of the left. So we've kind of twisted the feet over. Inhale, lifts the chest. Exhale, folds. One more like that. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, folds. We're going to bring this right knee into the chest. So shift the weight to your left foot. Start to lift the right leg. Whole way to standing. Inhale, we come up. Last bit on this side. Exhale, figure four. Flex the foot. Start to drop the hips low. Hold here for two. Flex the foot, lift the chest. If you want to go deeper, think elbows to shins. And we meet feet on the ground. Take a bit of movement, ease that out. Then we'll go second side. Inhale, sweep up the arms, look up to the thumbs. As you exhale, we'll forward fold, chin drops down towards the chest. Inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale, hands come back down to blocks or the ground. Half moon, weight to the right foot. Inhale, that left leg starts to open up and back. Opening up the chest, 2 breaths, really ground through the right foot. One more breath. Then when you're ready, we step the left foot back halfway. Reverse triangle, left hand to the leg. Inhale, right arm up to the ceiling. One more breath there. Maybe left hand around the back. Inhale. And then exhale, we come to center. And instead of taking that Skandasana side to side, what we're going to do instead is we're going to turn the feet so they're parallel. We're going to go for a wide-legged forward fold. Interlace the hands back behind you. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale to fold forwards. Ground through the big toes. Allow the back of the neck to soften. If you want to sway, you can sway. Then when you're ready, we're going to release and reach the fingertips down to the ground. If they don't quite reach, just bend the knees a little more. Right hand's going to ground down. Inhale the left arm up to the ceiling, twist. You can stay here, or the left hand can go around your back. If you prefer, you can start to take the right hand towards the left ankle and then keep taking the top of the head forward, twist just a little deeper. We unravel again. Left hand's going to go to the center of the mat. Inhale, right arm to the ceiling. Right hand can go around the back. Left hand can go towards the ankle. Think top of the head forwards. Exhale to open it up. Last breath. Okay, we unravel. I'm going to go lizard pose. So start to take both hands to the inside of your right foot. They can be on blocks or the ground. Take that left knee back and just take any movement that's going to help you start to ease in. You might want to stay up on the hands this time. You might want to play with levels again. It's always really common for sides of the body to feel a bit different. So you can give them that space. And then it's 3 breaths. Find that steadiness again. Maybe remember that affirmation, that intention. Come back to it. Come back to your hands if you left them. We're going to inhale, right arm up to the ceiling, twisted lizard. Maybe slide the knee back a little bit. And then as you exhale, we're opening it up. Oh, might be good here. Or we can play with peeling up that back foot. 3 breaths, you got it. Ground into them. Keep drawing it back. Last breath here. And then we unravel. Okay. From here, hands are going to start to go forwards. Feel free to take your blocks with you as we peel off the left leg. Inhale. We're going to twist the feet, step the left foot behind the right. 2 ripples up and down. Inhale, lifts the chest. Exhale, folds. One more just like that. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, folds. Now we start to unravel, start to lift off the left leg. We're going to draw it the whole way up to upright to come into the chest. Take your time to get there. Inhale. Then as you exhale, we'll flex the foot, start to sit the hips low, take the hands to prayer, lift the hands to lift the, what's it called? Heart to the thumbs. See if you can soften the eyes. And if you like, you can go elbows down to shin. One more breath. And then we go feet on the ground. Take a moment, give the body a bit of a shake. You can shake the hands, you can shake the legs, you can shake the feet. Okay, now we're gonna go into a little bit more of some sweeping movement here. So we're gonna inhale, sweep up the arms. And what I mean by that is you exhale, we're gonna draw the right hand down, left hand under. Come back to center, inhale. And then second side. Now we're gonna sweep that a little more. So inhale, sweep both arms up. We come back to the right hand side, bend the knees. We're gonna draw a circle. And then we go second side, left hand over. And we made it back. One more like that, inhale. Exhale it round. You can exaggerate the reach, exaggerate the circle. And we're back. Okay, from here come back to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep up the arms up to the thumbs. As you exhale, we're gonna fold. Chin to chest. One more, inhale, halfway lift. Take your hands back to your blocks or the ground as we make our way back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths, whether you wanna move or be in stillness. Slowly start to release, take the knees to the ground. And we're gonna go for a variation of hero's pose here. So, not all knees love being internally rotated. What I mean by that in less techie terms is when the knee kind of rolls in like this. I've taken my hips to the ground and the feet are out wide. Some knees will be fine, my knees don't mind it. If your knees aren't a fan, what we'll do is we're gonna elevate the hips. You can grab cushions or blocks and you're gonna lift the hips a little bit. And that will just give you a bit more control with sort of how much rotation you're bringing them into, if that makes sense. So from here, we're going to think about hands to ground, hips can be on blocks or the ground. Tuck the pelvis under, and then you're going to place the hips back down as you start to walk your hands back. So this is what it looks like if the hips are lifted on blocks. You're still resting them down. Some of us, we might go down a little lower. You could take elbows to the ground. Or if you are without blocks, what that would look like, absolutely same feeling, but just might look a little bit different as again we start to walk back. 3 breaths, think of pressing down the front of your knees. Slowly start to release. From here, come back to tabletop. Start to slide the knees back. Okay, we're gonna go for a little bit of chest opening. We're gonna go through puppy. Hands can be on blocks or the ground. I'm really enjoying my blocks today, so I'm gonna keep hands on blocks. That actually takes it a bit deeper for puppy. Hands can be on ground if you prefer. Any pinching in the shoulder joint, just give them more space. Take them a little bit wider. And 3 breaths. Slowly start to unravel, start to come back to your tabletop. And then from there, what we're gonna do, take a bit of movement, ease it out. And we're gonna work something similar to what we did from our down dog earlier. We're gonna lift up the right leg, open up the hip, and see if we can hold it there. Then same, maybe you come onto the fingertips, maybe you float the hand, or this time we can start to reach the hand back to the foot and we can get a bit of chest opening here. One more breath. What you might notice, cheeky thing I did, my left foot went out to the side and then it kind of acts as a kickstand, keeps you a little bit more stable. Slowly release. Take a bit of movement, ease it out. Now that right leg's going to swing back behind you, point back behind you. Then we're going to trace a quarter circle, take it out to the side. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the hips towards your back heel. You can move side to side here if you like, see how that feels. For some of us, the head will stay lifted. Some of us, the forehead might easily touch the ground. One more breath. And then you can keep it as it is, or we can take a thread the needle variation. Right hand's going to thread underneath the left and let the side of the head work its way down like it was trying to touch the ground. One more breath. Just caring for the body with movement. Start to unravel. Take yourself back towards tabletop. We're going to inhale that right knee back. If you want to go through a vinyasa, you can, or I'm going to take a cat-cow today. Take your time to find your rhythm of flow. If you went through your vinyasa and ended in a down dog, we're going to meet back in tabletop for second side. Then we do what we did from our down dog earlier. Inhale, we lift the left leg off. We start to open up the hip. You can stay, you can float the right hand, or you can bring it back towards the foot. 2 breaths. Maybe the right foot comes out as a kickstand. 1 more. Then slowly we release. Come back to tabletop. Any little movements that you like. Okay. Then this left leg's going to go out towards the side. Inhale there. Oh, sorry. It goes back behind you. And then we draw a quarter circle. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hips back. Is there a movement that feels good? You can move. Maybe allowing the back of the neck to soften, lowering the forehead. Then again, you can keep it like this if that feels good. Or we can come to that thread the needle variation. Left arm peels under. Slowly start to unravel. Come back to tabletop. Knees together, a little bit of movement. And we're going to take a malasana before we come down to the ground. So tuck the toes, we'll come back to down dog. Then we're stepping the feet outside the hands so they go nice and wide. Bend the knees to start to drop the hips down low. Oh, yeah. See if you can press through the outsides of the feet, lift up the top of the head. 1 more breath. Then we're going to drop the hips down to the ground. So if you like, you can go no hands, or use the hands behind you to lower yourself down. Then we're going to take ourselves the whole way down. So blocks can go out to the side. Take the feet about hips distance. Hands under the knees. Inhale. Exhale, lower you down. Back, not too dissimilar from where we began. Take the feet out nice and wide and knock the knees side to side. This is a nice passive release for the spine into the lower back a little bit. And then we're going to take a little bit of a thoracic rotation. So it's a twist through the middle spine. Extend your right arm up to the ceiling and let both knees come over to the right. Left hand's going to start to peel over towards the left. You're going to keep reaching it as far as you can, like you're trying to turn the chest onto the ground. Inhale back through center, both arms up. And then second side, both knees to the left. Hello, Poppet. And then we come over towards the right hand side. Slowly come back through center. Happy baby. Take the knees into your chest. Give yourself a lovely big squeeze. Just like we did as we began. Maybe take a moment just to notice if there's any shifts in the way you were feeling from when you began. Just allowing yourself to notice that again. Keep coming back to listening. We'll take the feet out wide. Hands can go to the feet or anywhere down along the legs. Kind of like a double variation of that pose we began with. Little movements if that feels good. And then I'm going to offer out a nice passive inversion for us to close with, which is going to be waterfall pose. If you've got a wall nearby, you can prop your feet on the wall, and that can be a really nice way to take it too. But we're just going to lift the hips a little bit. So you can use a cushion or you can use a block. We're going to lift the hips up and placing them onto your block. You can let both legs lift and take the arms to the side. So this is a nice way to let some of the blood drain from the legs. It can be a really nice restorative one. If you were using a wall, imagine there was a wall in front of me. You could rest your feet on the wall. If you have another inversion you prefer, if you want a shoulder stand, headstand, any other upside down pose, take your time to bring yourself there. I'm going to take about another 5 to 10 breaths here. Now take the time you need. You can stay longer if you like. If you've got legs on a wall and it feels lovely and you want to stay there, you're very welcome to. But otherwise, we'll start to think about our final pose today, our Shavasana of choice. So grab any little bits you like that are going to keep you comfortable. Could be putting on a pair of slippers, could be a jumper, could be grabbing some cushions or a bolster. Take the time to set yourself up, find that support for the body. If there are last movements you want to take, even if it's lots of movement, whatever it might be, that's going to allow you to settle, give yourself the space for it. But as and when you have found your way for where you'd like to be today, I want to invite you to take a final couple sighs, just to start to symbolize this release of the physical parts of practice. Big breaths in. Sighing it out. Each practice becomes a wonderful opportunity to practice this principle of non-attachment. We funnel all of this dedication, this care, and this focus into the physical parts of practice. Then every time, we just invite ourselves to let them go. Allowing the shapes to be the shapes they were. Practice to be space where we care for the body. And then we give ourselves this space as we let go of the attachment to the physical shapes, to feel into any of the subtler or perhaps deeper parts of the practice for you. Today might be a day where it feels lovely just to sit with openness, to sit with feeling. Or if you'd prefer to keep the mind focused, I always think it's a lovely practice to come back to any intention, or maybe today affirmation that you were working with. And you can take the time just to breathe that in. And breathe it out. time you need. If you'd like to stay longer, please feel free. But if you feel ready to start to return, we'll begin by deepening the breath. Maybe notice the effect deepening the breath has on the body. And then at your own pace, you can begin to invite in any movements, whether you want to start small or start to come into any gentle stretches. Just gently beginning to welcome yourself back to the body. Then take all the time you need. If you want to roll onto one side and pause there, feel free. If you want to take any stretches on the way to finding your seat, or get yourself nice and set up again with any props, take the time to care for the body. Once seated, we'll lift the top of the head, soften the shoulders, and take the hands to prayer at the center of the chest. Just take 3 steady breaths here, steady or your ujjayi. At the end of the third, bowing the head to the hands. Bowing, honoring yourself, honor your heart, your hands, your body. Be grateful for the practice itself, but also the practice you have cultivated. I've recently been teaching some courses that we came to the end of yesterday, and we were reflecting on if you can remember what your first ever down dog felt like, or what your first ever yoga class might have felt like. And then perhaps just giving yourself a moment to recognize the time and the care that you've put aside, and the work and the understanding you've put towards yourself. Even if it doesn't feel super prominent today, can we still give ourselves that space and feel the support that we've given ourselves? Be proud of the support that we've given ourselves, a practice that you've cultivated to support you. Take one more inhale when you're ready. And exhale to close. Thanks so much, gorgeous people. Always a joy to have you. And yeah, anything you need, questions, things you want to see more of, things you want to see less of, just let me know. I want to make this the best for you as it can be. And if you haven't seen already, I've got some super exciting retreats coming up next year. One in Spain, one in Norfolk. They're going to be fabulous, and they're both on my website. So any questions, let me know, or you can find info there. Lots of love.